What's going on, everybody? Cody from Motorcycle MD. In this video, I'll be showing you exactly how easy it is to do a valve inspection, tappet adjustment on a single cylinder motor. This has been done on a TRX250. It's easy. And this technique can literally be applied to any tappet style valve adjustment. Once you know which cylinder is in the right time, top dead center compression, you're good to go. So we'll jump right into it. Straightforward video. Let's get into it. Pop this black cover off, all these pop snaps here, two flathead screwdrivers. You can just pry them all up, try to keep them in a box to reuse them. Two bolts up front here for the gas tank itself. We have our main fuel line right here. Just slide back. There we go. There's a 10mm right there. Just gotta loosen it. There's that black cover. These two down here, which we need an extension for. We gotta get this guy off down here. Phillips head screwdriver right up front. Again, we still have our fuel line. It's coming right here. That's underneath a bracket. So we just push this fuel line back through, right there. And then we can pull this tank out, just like that. Now we gotta get this plate out. Here, we have a pop snap here for our snorkel that came unattached from the airbox that we'll fix. Two bolts on both sides of this bracket here, and then this tub should lift out. This is actually a part of the engine mount right here. Top bolt goes right down to the motor. We can pull these off now. We already dropped one over there, so we don't forget about them. Grab that bolt, and we can weasel this thing out from that mount right there. And we might be able to pull this whole thing out, just like that. Now we have the top of the motor. And of course we have all types of crust everywhere, all around this stuff. We need to access these two tappet covers. So we're gonna blow all this off, brush it off, whatever we gotta do. Use a brass brush. My airbox lid's closed. I'm not worried about where this crap goes. Alright, so now that we've cleared out all of the dust, we're going to double check around that spark plug. We don't want to drop anything inside the cylinder. We're going to undo this. Customer put a new spark plug in it, so we don't need to replace that. It's actually super loose. That's okay. These should be 17mm. I do have some new O-rings for them as well. Because once you crack something open, you are in charge of it leaking or not. So, creature of habit. Let's replace the O-rings while we're there. These are all flattened out anyways. This breather tube goes to the side of the car, but I just have not plugged it in yet. Now we got access to the tappets. We don't know what we're in as far as timing goes, but we can find out real quick. Here's the timing inspection hole. We can use an Allen screw, pull that out, and I like to just turn the motor through with the pull starter. If you take this off, you can then access and manually rotate with a socket, but we can probably get pretty close where we need to be with this, and I'll show you guys how I do that. I won't even need to remove this. If you're unfamiliar with how a four-stroke system works or finding top dead center and you're not comfortable with that, I would remove that inspection cover and find TDC with the lining the lines all up, but I'll show you how I do it. If you are new to the channel, welcome. We do videos like this all the time. If this is something that you're into, you like working on your own motorcycle, doing it the correct way, learning some tips of the trade, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to hop onto a mailing list that will let you know when new videos come out, as well as some promos that may be going on with certain content, in the description there's a link that will take you to a course, 30+ videos on how to take care of your bikes, some practical things that you can apply to just ownership of a motorcycle and what it looks like to take care of that consistently. Totally free to you for joining the mailing list. Be sure to pick it up before you go. Let's get back into it. First, I'm just going to find what stroke I'm on by putting my finger over the spark plug hole until we get some puffs of air out. There's compression stroke right there. I will put my screwdriver right down inside this hole. There's the top of the piston, and we will watch this rotate up. It's coming upwards. Now I'm just going to go right until, keep kind of moving this around so you don't pinch it in between the hole and the piston. Up, up, up some more. There's gonna be a spot where the connecting rod is starting to go downward and it won't move at all, even though I'm pulling on it. So I'm just trying to slowly, I'm right there at it right now. It's not moving at all, and I just turned it through a little bit. And now we have play on both the rockers. Intake, because the carburetor side, exhaust, because the exhaust side. When I have free play on both of these, I know I'm in the right timing of the motor. We know we're on compression stroke, we knew that. We know the piston's all the way at the top. So, we're there. The spec on this is 5 thousandths, or 0.13 millimeters. 5 thousandths feeler gauge, 0.127. We're going to slide this right in between the tappet and the top of the valve. And we're looking for a slight resistance feel. This feels pretty good. It's a little loose. Let's check the exhaust. Sometimes it's not worth adjusting. Slide this underneath there. The exhaust is very loose. I can wiggle this thing all around. Yeah, it's a very loose clearance. So, this has a little square head on the top, and I have a tool that accepts that right here. You can buy them offline. This is a Honda one, an old Honda one, but it fits the square head up top, so I can keep this steady while we loosen up this 10mm lock nut. Okay, so I'll get on top of this one right here. I'll hold my adjuster where it is. We'll loosen this up. We're going to come in slightly. Lock that back down. Feel it. Still feels super loose. Break that loose. Turn this clockwise. Lock it back down. We got a little bit more resistance, but it's still super loose. This exhaust one was pretty noisy when I heard it. Tighten up a little bit. Lock it down. Now we have some resistance there. That feels... I need to be able to get my feeler gauge inside of it, and then just... I want to feel both sections of the tappet and the valve stem down here, you know? So you're trying to feel that resistance in there. There is a slight resistance. It's a little bit too much now. So we'll back it off. Come back a little bit. Tighten it back down. That feels great. Let's go back to this intake now that we know what tight kind of felt like. Now this one does feel loose. This one's kind of difficult to get to. Let's see if we can get in on it. Let's just grab a regular wrench, see if we can't get on there. Yeah, this carb is all up in my way. Okay, we're gonna loosen it. Tighten slightly. Opposite way of our adjuster. And lock that back down. That feels better. I can feel resistance. I can feel both top and bottom of what I'm measuring between. That feels good. Okay. Now if you want to be perfect, you can torque these down. It's about 17 millimeters, about 12 foot-pounds. We will have to recheck this clearance though. I usually just tighten these things up by hand. I know where it's at, but let's check this. There's that one. There's that one. That was pretty darn close. And let's just recheck this because the adjuster can also spin when you're tightening these up. That still feels the same. The exhaust still feels the same. Awesome. Yeah, that's where you kind of go back and forth. It can get tricky because when you torque these things down, let's say if you don't have a crow's foot, which I wouldn't recommend because you'll end up just rounding that thing off. But your torque wrench covers the adjuster, you know, so you tighten it, then it moves the adjuster, so then you're doing like this like counter move where you're misadjusting it and then torquing it down to the adjustment. It can get kind of very annoying, but this was smooth and steady. So we got some brand new O-rings, steal some of this oil, and we don't have to worry about this thing leaking at all. Again, very soft metal. If your O-rings are bad and you just reuse them, oftentimes you'll just snap the head right off of this inspection cover. I've done it. I say that from experience. And the valve adjustment is completed. Install the spark plug and we can put all this stuff back together. Like I said, straightforward, pretty easy to do on this style of motor. If you are interested in advancing your knowledge, maybe learning a little bit more, check out the website or some of the links below. There are some courses that I have in there that might take you into a little bit deeper path and just learning different aspects of your motorcycle, as well as tons and tons of carburetor help that you can find there on the website. That being said, Cody from Motorcycle MD bringing you guys some quality tips and tricks for your next build or your daily rider. See y'all next time. Later.